All right, we doing it. We doing the thing. Who's here with me? I see one person. Is gonna turn on. Come on now. There we go. Turn on. Come on now. There we go. Who's here with me? Who's here with me? Okay, well, I guess I'll just be talking to myself for a little while. That's cool. I do that a lot anyway. All right. So today I'm just going to be building a pedal board. I'm in this situation where normally I have a pedal board. Normally I have a pedal board that stays with the gear, but we're doing kind of a short run in Montana, so we're not bringing all of our usual gear. We're using kind of backup stuff. Luckily, we keep all our stuff in Austin, so I actually have all my stuff. I'm just not going to be able to bring my big pedal board because I don't want to have to check it. I want to be able to carry it on. But I have two pedal boards. We can talk about that first. So I've got this one. This is the Pedal Train Junior. You can see it's got 4 crossbars. So this one doesn't come with a power supply, but it comes with a road case, right? So it's a nice sturdy road case. I've actually done a gear review on this one, but that was the main thing for me. I just wanted something a little bit bigger than just one row of pedals, and then something that came with a nice road case. And the Pedal Train definitely fit the bill. My other pedal board is the Voodoo Lab Dingbat Junior. So this one is pretty much one row of pedals. You can kind of, if you got something small, you can put it up top. The Voodoo Labs one comes with the Voodoo Labs power supply. So this was my first like nice pedal board, and that was the main attraction for that, that it just already came set up and fastened to the pedal board. This one doesn't come with a road case. It comes with a super sweet gig bag, you know. So again, not quite as roadworthy, but the power supply is really nice. The Pedal Train board, I had to get a power supply. I went with this Strymon Zuma, since I use a lot of Strymon pedals anyway. Just seemed to make sense. Of course, you have to buy the kit to keep it on the bottom of the pedal board, and it actually fits this pedal train just perfect. Got a few more spots than the Voodoo Labs. Well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then a 9th one that you can adjust the voltage. It looks like the last 2 you can adjust the voltage, and a 24-volt one. So cool. So that's those are my pedal boards. Today we're going to be doing like I said, we're going to be doing the Voodoo Labs one, so I don't have to check it. It'll just fit in the overhead or under my seat. And the reason we want to get a board with like isolated power supply is like if you use a daisy chain like this one, where it's essentially like a 9-volt, and then they're just all chained together. You know, if it goes down here, right, then you're just screwed. All of them aren't going to work. But with the isolated power supply, if one goes down, the rest of the board's going to work. And each pedal is going to get the full 9 volts, right? There can be a loss of voltage down the daisy chain. Okay, so enough with that. So we're going with Voodoo Labs. Now we got to kind of figure out which pedals we want to bring priority wise. I'll just talk about the pedals real quick. So I got two phasers. This is the MXR Phase 95. It's pretty basic. Benefits, it's super small. But essentially you've pretty much got a speed control. There is a little bit of variance with the 45 or 90 selection. But it's not real big. You pretty much either got wow, 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 or wow, 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 right? So for now, I'm gonna, unless it doesn't fit later on, I'm gonna go with, this is the Lillian by, is that Walrus, I think? Have a lot more control over the rate, width, feedback. It's got different types of phase, using the switch and then this control. So that's the phaser we're going to go with. I only have one chorus. It's the Strymon Ola, and I love it. I pretty much always keep it in chorus. It does have some vibrato and other options, envelope, filter, that kind of thing. But I pretty much use it as chorus. It just sounds really nice. If anybody wants to got a question or leave a comment, let me know, or just say hi. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking to myself here. Okay, got a couple reverbs. This is the Holy Grail, pretty basic. I'm not going to use that one. I'll just say that it's fine. For like if I had to use it, I would be happy with it. It's super easy to control, blend time, and the type of reverb. I just got this puppy. This is the Strymon Big Sky. I've used the Blue Sky for a long time and liked it, so I wanted to try this bigger one. So we're gonna fit that onto the board. So right now, we're gonna go with the these three. We've got the this is my overdrive distortion, the Sarno Earth Drive. Other distortions I've tried, I just couldn't get a subtle overdrive from it. It was just like, no matter what, balls to the wall. And this is the only one I've been able to just really keep the drive down, but still be loud and not be just totally overdriven. Still sound pretty good. Okay. This one, unfortunately, probably not going to get to bring it. This is a dual pedal. So this is, of course, just a Boss equalizer. It's been modded out by Analog Man. So you can essentially use this as like a boost, where you get to dial in the boost a little bit more, like boost your highs and lows for a solo or something. Or another common use, like if you want to sound like a dobro, right? The down, up, down, up, down, up thing. And it'll sound like a dobro. What's up? Keep pressing, Indiana. Oh, wow, 2 Indiana. Cool. Right on. And so probably not going to fit, which is a bummer, but this Montana run is only like 5 shows, and then we'll be back home. That's so funny. Everybody's from Indiana here. Cool. Hey, what's up, John? And then, of course, we got the Strobo Stomp. I do have... I have the Strobo Plus HD also. So we'll kind of talk about the difference between those in a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So we got a tuner. We're going to get rid of these. Okay. So for now, we'll just kind of talk about signal chain for just a minute. So this is our quote of the day. Play like Lloyd is watching over your shoulder. That's what I try to tell myself before I sit down at the guitar every day. All right. So we got our steel, and then our amp. All right. So the first thing we have to decide is where we want to put our volume pedal. And actually, before we get into that, I'm going to show you two kinds of volume pedals, two pretty popular ones. This is the Telonix. This is the Hilton. You can see the Telonix is maybe a little bit thinner. Main differences between them, they both have dual outputs, so you can go stereo. The Telonix has a taper control, so you can, even though it's always gonna feel the same when you're moving it, the taper of how fast the volume comes on or cuts off is going to change depending on which one you select. Right. I'm a number 6 guy. Another nice thing about the Telonix is that the plug, when you turn it, it locks in, so you don't have to worry about it getting kicked out. And it has a dedicated tuner out. So that's going to resolve one of our problems that we're going to talk about in just a minute, having a dedicated tuner out. Now, there are Hiltons, I believe, if you like buy a new one, you can ask them to do a tuner out instead of stereo out. I'm pretty sure he still does that. I don't know, I haven't looked in a while. You can use the stereo out for your tuner, but most likely that's going to come along with a decibel cut. So just be aware that there's going to be probably some kind of change in tone when you plug in to the stereo output and it's going straight to the pedal. And then, of course, you'll still have to have, right, the volume pedal open for a signal to go to the tuner, right? So that kind of sucks that you can't like tune quietly, right? Whereas this one with the tuner out, you can be totally off and it'll tune just fine, right? It's still getting the full signal. Okay. So, like I said, we've got the first thing we have to decide is whether we want gain control pedals in front of our volume pedal or after. So our gain controls, all right, overdrives, distortions, again, equalizers, stuff like that. Anything that's going to give a boost or a cut to the gain. A compressor, right? I don't use a compressor, but so the reason you put you would put your gain controls in front of the volume pedal is because here's coming my guitar, right? It's getting a full signal from the guitar. So that full signal is getting overdriven, right? No matter whether I'm back here or I'm all the way open, the signal that my volume pedal is getting is fully overdriven, right? Now, if I do this, right, when I'm back off on the volume pedal, now my overdrive pedal isn't getting a full signal from the guitar, right? It's getting a cut signal. So there's going to be a difference in how much overdrive there is based on where you are on the pedal. Now, I'm not saying one is good or bad. I'm just saying that there's going to be a difference in tone, right? If I'm all the way on, right, and my drive is kind of up, it's going to be, right? But if I back off on that pedal, not only is it going to decrease the volume, it's going to decrease the amount of overdrive. Now, if it's in front of the volume pedal, no matter where I am on volume, it's going to have that full overdriven sound. So that way I can come in on the volume pedal and the amount of overdrive isn't going to change. So I can swell with the overdrive. Whereas here, it'll still be overdriven. It's just not going to be the same. So of course, when I'm using my bigger pedal board, that's definitely what I do. I go in from guitar into these two, then into the input of the volume pedal, and then I send out back to the pedal board to the rest of the pedals. All right. So that's how I like it. So we're going from guitar to gain, gain. All right. Then we're going to volume pedal. Again, I'm using my Telonics, so it's got its own tuner. Output. We'll come back and talk about where to place like a Strobo Plus HD that doesn't, or something that doesn't have a tuner out. Okay. Next thing we do is, God, I can't even draw right now. So not necessarily keep pressing to have the volume pedal totally last. And at some point I'm going to get out of my depths here, but the pros say that usually modulation and stuff like reverb delay comes after the volume pedal, and we'll get to that in a sec. But so then we have modulation. So modulation is going to be chorus, right? Phasers, stuff like what are those called? Oh shoot. What's that thing that Smashing Pumpkins uses all the time? I'm blanking on it. Oh, let's see. Here we go. Oh yeah, like tremolos or like let's see. Flanger. That's what I was thinking of. Flangers. Obviously not a super popular effect with steel guitar. Doesn't really matter which order you put them in, because I'm not going to use both of them at the same time. So pick whichever fits better. And that's how we do that. Then after modulation comes delay and reverb. Again, they usually say just make reverb last, put it last in the chain. Because essentially with reverb, the point of putting it last is that we want to take that end result of everything we have before it and then add reverb to it, right? If I put reverb at the beginning, you would be overdriving, right, a reverbed guitar signal, and then it starts to like get out of control as it goes down the line, right? Whereas instead, you want to take that overdriven signal and just add some reverb to it. I know it kind of, if you think about it too hard, it just doesn't make sense, but it also does, right? The same idea with the volume pedal thing, right? We want to add volume to the overdriven signal, not overdrive a low signal, same kind of thing. Okay. Oh, where's my delay pedal? I'm sorry. Give me one sec. Where did I put it? If I have space, I'm going to use this flashback. I really like the flashback. At some point, I'm going to get the V2. I tried the Strymon Brigadier for a while, and it was fine, but it's like I use the delay so little that I don't really care if it sounds kind of computery or whatever. I mean, it still sounds good. Kind of the Strymon thing is that it's supposed to be like super transparent, really clean. And, of course, a lot of these delay settings, it's like, yeah, obviously there's some circuitry going on in that delay. But that's all right, because it's like I usually use it for like a very specific part of a song, and then it's off, right? So we might be able to fit that in there. We'll see what we can do. Okay. So that's the basic signal chain. right? Gain controls to the volume pedal, then modulation, then reverb and delay, then into the amp, right? There are, of course, like effects loops. I play through a Fender Twin. Let's see if I can get it in the shot real quick. Where are we going? It's over there. So, of course, it doesn't have an effects loop. I do have a Nashville 400 that does have an effects loop, but I still don't really use it. It's just like, I don't know. I just don't really need it. Okay. So now let's go back and say we don't have this tuner out. We've got to put our tuner somewhere. So I've got two kinds of Petersons here, right? So the Strobo Plus HD, it doesn't have a volume cut on it, right? So essentially when it's on, when I'm tuning, there has to be a signal going to it. It's kind of hard to explain. When I'm tuning, this isn't gonna keep the sound that the string that I'm tuning from coming through the amp, right? Whereas this one does have, when I turn it on, it will cut the sound, right? So that's why I love this the floor pedal version, because even if I didn't have a dedicated tuner out, when I turn the tuner on, it will cut the sound and I can tune in silence. Whereas this one can't do that. So if you've got this one, it has to come before the volume pedal, right? Otherwise you can't tune silently, right? So with something like the Strobo Plus HD, that's why you see a lot of guys, we'll just go tuner. They've got like the leg clamp, and I think I've got a leg clamp somewhere, yeah. And they'll clamp it to the end of the guitar, right? They'll clamp it to the end of the guitar because they want it to go straight from the guitar into the tuner and then start the signal chain. With this one, right, since we talked about it can silent tune, we've got some more options of where we want to put it. Of course, it's still easy to put it right at the beginning of the signal chain. I haven't found the Peterson tuners to have much of a tone change. So first in the signal chain is still pretty good. Of course, you could fit it you could put it at the end if you wanted, or if you were doing something where, say, like you do the gain to the volume pedal and then like right back to the pedal board, you could put it in the second part. So essentially those are your kind of options if you don't have a tuner out on your volume pedal. Any questions about that, guys? I know we're kind of on, I think it's like a 20-second delay. So I will sit here for a second, catch my breath. If y'all have any questions about signal chain before we start actually putting the board together. Okay, no questions. All right. We shall move on. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way. Charles asking if I use a compressor. I don't use a compressor. We kind of talked about earlier that compressor is a gain control, right? So compressors, EQs, distortion, overdrive. So it would come before the volume pedal, right? So it gets that, the guitar would get that fully compressed signal, right? You don't want to cut back on the volume and then the compressor is trying to, like, you know, keep the volume steady, right? It wants to have that volume steady so then you can swell in that compressed signal. But no, I don't use a compressor. I tried one once and I just couldn't. I'm not like super great with pedals. That's why I don't have like one of those fancy multi-effect racks or something like that. I like to have my one pedal, dial it in how I like, you know, or maybe have a few controls that, you know what I mean? I'm a very like, this is by far like has the most to it, right? But still, it's like pretty simple. You pick which reverb you want, and then you got controls with pretty basic controls, right? Tone, mix, decay. But with some, you can save a few different ones. So, okay, let me grab the pedal board. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Where the heck did that go? Sorry, guys. I said we're gonna start from scratch, so I gotta get some of these zip ties off. Having problems with getting the sound and tone I want out of a Fender 100. What? Yeah, I mean, I'm not real familiar with the Fender 100. I play through a twin reverb on tour, and then have a Fender 400 at home that I'll do local gigs with or like recording with. Just because the Fender, the twin reverb, god dang, it higher volumes, it just gets distorted. The amp gets overdriven kind of easily when you're going through like the Telonics volume pedal. So yeah, I would see if you could find like a nice like PV Nashville 400. Kind of stay away from the 1000s. Not because they're bad amps, they're actually great sounding amps, but they're very hard to repair. I had one, it went down, took it to like a certified PV guy, and it took him months to fix it. I guess like it's just really hard to repair them. The 400s are a lot easier. Of course, even like what they made, those little ones, the 112s, those sound nice. And they're a lot cheaper. You know, a twin is like 1700 American new. I'm sure you can find a used one better than that, but okay. I guess before we start adding the pedals, let's kind of talk about patch chords. I like these ones. What are these? These are, oh God, are these D'Addario's? Anyway, they sell them at Guitar Center. I really like them. They're, of course, soldered, so they're going to stay together, and I just like how much you can twist them around, right? Whether you got like a weird connection when you're using a bunch of different brands, you're going to end up with some weird things. These are kind of cool. If you got like some Boss pedals that go next to each other, then you can get them real close, save some space. Actually, where did I put them? These are, what are these? Hosa Technology. Then there's of course just your basic whatevers. I don't even know. These are also Hosa. And then D'Addario makes some cool kits. This says Planet Waves, but this was like a sub-brand of D'Addario that they've since gotten rid of. But it comes with like just a bunch of right angle plugs and cord, and then you just cut the cord and then screw it in so they're not soldered, but they stay together really well, and it's nice cable. So I've got one that was like made for pedal boards, and then one that was made for like longer cords. So I use that for all the cords going between like my guitar and the pedal board, and the volume pedal to the pedal board. I don't really use it for the pedal board, right? If that makes sense. Cool. Oh, it also comes with a little wire cutter, you know. I can show you some of the cords I made. Let's see, where are they? Like here's one. So, you know, if you go to Guitar Center, you're not going to find one that kind of looks like that, right? They're usually going to be like that. So it's nice that you can kind of unscrew them and make them fit just right, so the cord isn't getting bent in weird directions. And then like one of the kits had straight plugs, so you can make your own like combined 90-degree and straight cords, which is what I like. I like this for going out of my guitar. So out of my guitar and into the earth drive, right? Because we talked about that going in first. Okay. So again, we talked about getting our gain control in first. I'm going to kind of put them in upside down right now so they don't get stuck to the thing. Got the reverb going last. Got the Strymon. Got the phaser. And then maybe we can hook this in kind of up top or something if we fit the Big Sky down lower. So I think that's kind of what we're going to go with. And then the volume pedal, maybe we can fit it up here. So it's going to be tight. We'll see what we can do. Let's see. I'm going to set it over about as far right as possible. Now remember, so it's going to go in from my guitar, then out to the volume pedal. So we're not going to plug in anything into this one at all. It's just going to be on its own before the volume pedal. So we're going to go out to the volume pedal, then back in. So there needs to be, this one has, the nice thing about this one is that it's got top input, output. That's really the only thing I don't like about this earth drive pedal, is that the input and output are just so tough. And on top of that, the power supply is also right by the input. So if it's tight, you gotta like, you know, find a way to get the power cord in there without totally ruining it. Charles asking about, is there a heart there? I reckon the Planet Waves cable compare favorably with the George L's. Yeah, actually, I like them better than George L's. I found the George L cable to be just kind of stiff, whereas this like has some give to it. As far as tone, haven't noticed any difference. So yeah, I just actually like the D'Addarios better than George L's. Of course, I used George L's for a long time, and you know, they're also good chords. And I just also like the connecting parts a little bit better too. Okay, so back into it. So now we're gonna add the phaser, and we just got to leave enough space for a chord to get there from the volume pedal. And actually, maybe we'll try to figure out which one that's gonna be. So maybe we'll just put one in there for now. Something like that. So we'll go right there. Okay. Talked about, so what's our next modulation? The chorus. Again, top inputs with Strymons. Strymons are all stereo. If you're using that mono, you always use the left input. So we're gonna go left input. There's the output for that. We're gonna get it nice and snug. Okay. And that leaves us plenty of space for the big sky. Let's see if we can, because I'd really love to get this delay on there. Let's do, again, we got the side inputs and outputs, so that kind of limits us a tiny bit. But if we go out and to that mono input, let's see what that gives us. Maybe we could do that. So maybe we go here with the flashback. And then we're kind of dealing with having to get back to the reverb. That's actually not bad. If y'all have any suggestions, what would be a good pedal or pedals to get started playing with pedals, reverb, gain, chorus, and phaser? I think the Holy Grail is a great reverb. Of course, TC Electronic, the Hall of Fame, is pretty cool if you want like a bunch of different options. But for something simple, the Holy Grail. And then this flashback is probably my favorite delay, and it's cheap too. Also TC Electronic. As far as phaser and earth drive chorus, you're looking at them, right? Strymon, Walrus, yeah, and Sarno. Maybe if we put the longer chord in, if we did this, oh yeah, I think I like this better. Yeah, so from here it's just kind of experimenting how to get it to fit. Again, the reason I'm not using a bigger pedal board is because I've got to fly with it and I really don't want to check it. So I'm using my smaller pedal board that has a gig bag. See, and again, the nice thing with these little, I'm pretty sure they're D'Addario ones, is that you can bend them at any point, right? And I think maybe that extra space is going to fit right there. Okay, yeah, I like that, because I really wanted to have the tuner closer to the front. Because essentially I like playing, all right, if I'm sitting in my guitar like this and I'm playing my guitar, I like my pedals over here, right? So I wanted this to be closer to the volume pedal so we can just go straight out to it. How about a power strip? Yeah, we talked about this earlier. So this this Voodoo Labs pedal board comes with a Voodoo Lab power supply. It was like $250. This is the Junior, I think, the Dingbat Junior. On my big pedal board, I use the Strymon Zuma power supply. And And you definitely, you know, if you're running more than 1 or 2 pedals, you want to go with that over something like a daisy chain, just because if you know, the cord goes bad in one spot, everything behind it is going to be bad. And those power supplies have isolated power chains. Okay, so I'm gonna get my Velcro and see if I can get this going. So bear with me for a second. And I'll flip the board over here in just a second and show you the power supply, because we haven't even talked about adding the power cords to it yet, right? Oh God, did I forget scissors? I forgot scissors, y'all. Give me a sec. Okay, and again, we're gonna set this one pretty low. Actually, I'm gonna get some of the, gosh, where is that? I need the other side of the Velcro. Where is it? So we need these holes to run the power cords through, so we can't totally cover those up. The gig bag is a little forgiving as far as like everything it can be hanging off the pedal board just a little bit. Just going in and going. Oh wait, no, that's opposite. Going in. Out. Nope. So that's the stereo. There we go. In. Out. And in. Okay. Just gonna kind of think for a second, look at some other options I might have for this. If we did something like, the problem with it being up here is that it's going to cover that unless I can run, yeah. Yeah, I had one before. Yeah, if we weren't doing that live recording, I would probably switch out this phaser for the little one, because as you can see, that was its spot before. But I really want to have that control over the phaser. Okay, so we're just gonna plug ahead. This might be an option for this one, right? Okay, I think we're going to call that a day. Going back to, I'll keep pressing S, right? So there's the power supply. All right, so now we're going to add power to it. So we're going to need the power cables and then some cable ties. We don't want to just throw them on willy-nilly. We want them to be clean. You know, the purists will say that, like, if you got a bunch of crossed power cords, it can cause some interference. So we're going to hopefully make them to where they're all nice and perpendicular, or they're not like, or if they cross, right, it's a very short cross, you know, like 90-degree angles. Okay. So here's the first one. Put it in. Send it through the hole. And again, like I talked about, that's the thing I don't like about this earth drive, is that where the power input is just terrible. I hate it. We've actually got quite a bit of slack there. I don't think I have any shorter ones. Let me see. Oh, here's a pretty short one. We'll try the shorter one. If you can, you know, the less cable, the better, right? We'll try this nice and short one. Yeah, that'll reach. Okay, so we got power going to the earth drive. Now we got to get to the top of the Lillian. It's also gonna, so it's probably gonna come through this hole. Yeah. Number 2. through the top. All right, so that's going to be the cord coming from the volume pedal, getting sent back. Okay, then we got to get to over here. And the input's going to be right there, so we'll probably just send it through this hole again. See if this one will reach. Yeah, it'll reach. Yeah. You know what? We're only using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots. So maybe I'll actually switch these two. Just give this a little bit more slack. It seemed like it was kind of running out of space. Okay. Bump this one up a bit, give it a bit more, just a tiny bit more slack. Okay. We got the flashback. Do we have another short boy? I think these are all the same size. So you want to save one for the volume pedal. And one for the big sky. Okay. Everything has power going to it. Let's just let's throw some cords into it, plug it in, see if it's working. Cool, so hopefully you can see there's the everything's working. Cool. All right, so everything's getting power. This one doesn't have anything plugged into it, so it won't show, but we can put a cord in there maybe. Yep, it's working too. Okay, so now we know everything's working. Go ahead and unplug it again. And now we want to zip tie down our power. Actually, we gotta add the volume pedal, or the tuner. Okay, so kind of hoping to add it. This one, of course, it's going to have its own cords, right, coming in and out of it. This might break the camel's back, but we'll see. It's got to have cords coming in and out. Not ideal, but this is gonna have to, maybe we can use like a straight cord. What if we could put it, move this down a tiny bit. We could put it there. And then we can run a cord straight with the straight plug. Something like, oh God. Something like that. This actually doesn't need an output cord. I'm stupid, right? I'm not keeping it in the chain. It's got its own thing, so all it needs is an output. So we could do something like that. Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. It is going to need some help with some Velcro somewhere, because it's not. We could try sending this through that bottom hole if there's got enough space. All right, gonna send it up through there now. See how that works. Like I said, it gets to a point where it's just like experimenting, and then we'll clean it up later. Cool. Yeah, that's actually better. Maybe we can do the same thing with this one. We'll send it through that lower hole again. Yeah, I think that might have just solved all our problems, and now we can cover this top one with some more stuff. Yeah, Michael, I agree. I talked about it earlier in the video, but I've tried other distortion pedals, and the Earth Drive is really the only one I can get a subtle overdrive out of. It seems like every other one, it's like it goes from like nothing to like full blast. This is the only one you can be kind of subtle with, just keeping that drive real low and being able to raise the volume without totally just overdriving everything. I'll mention again, the thing I absolutely hate about it is where the power is. It's just so inconvenient having to get the power knob this at the exact same place where the cable input is. So Brad, if you see this, change that, please. All right. So we just problem solved a little bit. And now we could really do either one. We could do it this way and send the cord from the volume pedal through there, or we could turn it the other way and send the cord in this way. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. We'll kind of figure that out later. We do need a power cord for it, however. If we do it this way, let's see, the power is on the top of the strobo stomp. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the top is always best, you know. I don't get why anybody would do anything different, but it is what it is. We're gonna send it through that lower hole again. It seems to be working out, keeping the board nice and clean. And we got our last spot. Can you see that? Yeah, nice and clean, right? Now we're just gonna zip tie everything down. Actually, maybe we'll test it out first. Yeah, let's do that. Now that my room is in total disarray. Cool. So before we actually do that, do y'all have any questions, right? So we're going to go from the guitar into the earth drive, out of the earth drive into the volume pedal. We're going to go from the volume pedal, tuner out into the tuner. That's its own thing. We're going to go from the volume pedal into our modulation, right? Phaser, chorus. Then we've got reverb delay. We're going from the chorus into the delay, into the reverb, back to the volume pedal, right? And then the volume pedal goes to the amp. So we'll draw that one more time for all the people that just joined. Steel, right? So we're going from steel to gain controls. All right, I'm only bringing the overdrive this time just because I don't have space for my EQ. Gain to volume pedal. I've got a tuner out. If you don't have a tuner out on your volume pedal, just rewind. We talked about that. And also the difference between like the Strobo Plus HD and the actual Strobo Stomp. Volume pedal into modulation. Modulation into reverb delay. Into the amp. All right. So now we're going to do the damn thing. Yeah, and I'll wait to zip tie everything just in case I have to make some adjustments once we get it into the guitar. So bear with me for a few minutes while I get some stuff out of the way and reposition the camera. So I'm using the Telonics. Again, I kind of showed the difference between the two earlier. We can kind of look at it briefly again. Top is Telonics. This is the Hilton. The nice thing about the Telonics is that it's got a dedicated tuner out, and then taper controls. Both have stereo outputs. And again, earlier on we talked about options for putting the the tuner in different places, since the Hilton doesn't have its own a dedicated tuner out. Okay. Yeah, the Telonic is the Hilton is the low profile one. And the Telonics is still slightly lower. I have like terrible ankle flexion. Yeah, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I lift weights all the time, so I'm just like really tight in my ankles, and if it's a high volume pedal, after half an hour my knee just gets super tight. Okay. So I'm also a weirdo. I like having my effect pedal on the floor. I know a lot of guys like having them on a stand or on their amp case or whatever. I like doing it this way because then I don't have a bunch of long cables running to some effects processor in the back and then back and da-da-da, right? I'm mostly playing, 200-300 seater honky tonk gigs, right? I'm not playing the Opry. So I need something that I can set up easily. It doesn't take up a lot of space, right? I play a lot of small stages with a bunch of big guys, So it needs to be small. I need to be able to, a lot of times the opener is also, a 5-person band, and I got to strike all my stuff after we sound check. So I don't want to be running, 20-foot cables back to an effects processor and all that. I like it just all right here. Okay. Gotta plug in the volume pedal. Okay, so we got the volume pedal plugged in. So remember what we talked about? Guitar. Let me get some more light this way. Okay, guitar, straight into the gain, right? So here's the earth drive, there's my gain control. I'm going straight in there. Right, if I had like my EQ, then it would be going from earth drive to EQ. If you had a compressor, that. All right, then we're going from gain controls into the volume pedal. So let's see if I got what I got. That actually looks like it might work, at least for now. I'm gonna have to kind of take this off to get in there. Okay, all right, gain to volume pedal. Sorry, let me see if I can bring this. No, that looks all right. Okay, gain to volume pedal. Now we got to get from the volume pedal. Oh shit! No wait. No, that's right. Okay, brain fart. Sorry. Okay, let's see. Now I got to get from the volume pedal right into modulation is next. This one's gonna be kind of tough. Take this off for now. So we gotta get from the out into there. It's actually not that bad. Those are kind of crossing though. What I need, it'll work for now. I can cut some, like I showed with those D'Adarios earlier, I can cut some specific chords to make this easier. Okay, so now we're into the modulation. These are already connected. Boom, boom. All right. Now we gotta go out of the reverb into the amp. All right. Do you ever use an EQ pedal to shape the sound? Yeah, I'll show you what I use. So here's kind of another problem that we need to get to the left out. And this is a straight angle and we got that pedal blocking it. So maybe we can do a little swap-a-roo. That's why almost all my chords have one side straight and one side right. because that's just how I like to set my stuff up. Okay. Here's my big boy. Now we should have space to slip it down. Now we got to make sure that this is, that's the thing with these, like those ones I was showing earlier, what were they, Hosu, just real short connectors that you got to make sure they stay in when you like adjust it. That looks like it's still connected all the way. Okay. Oh shoot, I put it in the wrong one. Right, so like we talked about with the Strymons, if you're using it mono, you use the left in, left out. Okay, now we're good. All right. Okay, now we just got to plug into the amp. Turning the amp on. Hopefully we don't die, get electrocuted from all this tomfoolery. That's weird. So there's something wrong with this power one because it keeps turning on and off. So we'll come back to that. Maybe we'll just unplug it for now. And we'll check what we got so far. Here's our overdrive. Good. Phaser. It's kind of what I was talking about, how I like this phaser a little bit better. It's got so many controls. Flashback. Feedback, delay. Working. And my big boy, the big sky. Oh, whoops, that's still on hit. Mix up. Okay. Cool. All right, now we just got to figure out what's up with that Strymon Ola. This one's standby. So, if you saw, when it's plugged in, it's on, and then, well, now does that want to work? Huh. Okay, there, it did it again. I'm not crazy. All right. Unplug this bad boy again and see what's up. Probably first thing we'll change is the power cord. Let's see if I got another one somewhere. I know I do. Sorry, I'm cutting one off of my my other pedal board right now. This one looks good. Okay. So we're just going to swap that out, see if that's the start of it. Run it back through. So again, a good reason not to zip tie just yet. Oh Lord. Okay, let's see. Hey Greg, yeah, they're all gonna be archived on the channel, on the Patreon and the YouTube, so you don't have to watch it all now. Okay, that's weird. So now it's still a different chord, it's still doing it. I wonder if maybe it could be the... Yeah, it's like it's not... Okay, so maybe it's the output. So we're gonna try a different output. We'll try that one, the tuner. Which one is the tuner? Ugh. Oh god, I gotta quit squatting. Hold on. Here we go. Wasn't there one up here for the tuner? Where'd that go? Okay, maybe it's this. Let's just get a... Okay. And I'll do a little troubleshooting, of course. And take it off. We're going to give it its own special power supply and see what happens. I'm sure this is all just super entertaining. But, you know, maybe this happens to you. So first thing, we're just going to, I gave it its own special 9-volt, see what happens. Interesting. So it looks like it's working now. Okay, so I take it it's not the pedal. Let's just plug it in again and see what happens. Okay, now it's working. Oh, nope, there it did it. It's odd. Yeah, I mean, what makes the most sense is that it's the power supply, but I just don't know, man. Try different spots. Let's see. Keep trying different ones. Yep. Well, I don't know, guys. Maybe we'll just leave that one out for now. Is the cable damaged near the strain relief? Wiggle the cable near. Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, when we went with this power supply, it's just like a one spot, right? Is it doing it? Yeah, see, now it works fine. So it has to be something with the power, right? And then as soon as I go into the actual Voodoo Lab, it's not even plugged in. Oh, that one's not even plugged in. Hey. Turns on. Huh. Oh shit, maybe I'm an idiot. No, I can hear it. Alright, we'll try another third power cord. I really don't think that's it, but at least we'll try. One sec. try a third one. If this one doesn't work, I don't know, it's got to be something with the power supply, with the pedal power. Yeah, that's freaking weird. Try a different port, see what happens. Yeah, I don't know, dudes. It's freaking weird. Alright, I don't know. We're gonna move on. Yeah, I tried multiple different ports and multiple cords, so it's something has to do with it's just not getting enough power. It keeps like I'll plug it in and then it'll be on, then it'll reset like it just got turned on again. Yeah, really weird. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I mean, if we have to, I can just run its own power supply out of it. It would be annoying, but it would get us through. Okay. Okay. So for now, this one's just going to get its own. Where was that one? What do with it? Okay. Yeah, pedal's fine. Okay, so again, guitar, overdrive, the volume pedal, out of the volume pedal into modulation. And then modulation into reverb and delay, and then out to the amp. And then we'll add the tuner somewhere. And it's pretty much just going to go. And it's just going to go, let's see, where's the input? This is the input. essentially into the tuner. And that's going to be the board. We're just going to zip tie it and clean it up a little bit. And that's it. Again, all these cords I cut for a different pedal board, so I might make some other ones. But for now, I think I'm just gonna call it. Is there anything y'all got questions about before we call it? And probably what I'll do is I'll just leave this cord, the cord that goes to the amp, inside the pedal board bag, so I don't have to keep like removing that to get the cord out or whatever. So that's kind of annoying. But so yeah, doing a lot with a little bit of space. Yeah, you got it, Michael. We're gonna do the next one. We're gonna do is a tuning one, and I think we might do it on Zoom. I'm not sure, but essentially what I'm gonna do next time is I'm just gonna detune my guitar and then tune it, and then talk about the process. Then we're just gonna do that like 3 or 4 times. Just keep detuning it, tune it again, right? Because I think like that's when you, I don't know, my brain power is depleted. But yeah, tuning is super important. So I think next month we're just gonna do some tuning work. And if y'all have any suggestions, you know, shoot me a message. Anything y'all want to do a hang time about, let me know. Because I'm here for whatever. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope that wasn't too boring and tedious, and I'll see y'all later.